Deer down, deer down. Okay, it's the first day of deer hunting for me in Washington, and I got out to a spot I like. Now I'm just sitting here, waiting for the sun to come up, trying not to get eaten by the bumps in the bushes. Am I crazy, or is that a buck sticking his head out? Well, that's for sure a deer. I just can't tell if he's a buck. I'm gonna have to play this footage back. Okay, he's for sure a buck. I spotted a nice buck, got the camera set up, then I go to get behind my rifle, and as I'm moving to get behind my rifle, he gets up and starts walking down the hill. So all I see is like his tines in the trees. So I'm like, what the hell just happened? So I walked down the way to get right above him on the road. Couldn't spot him at all. And I had to move because the second the sun came over the ridge, I couldn't even see through my scope. I was completely blind. So I definitely got outplayed on that one. And he was a nice buck too. So hopefully we see him again. Who knows? I'll stay optimistic. Alright, so far in the video, we have seen me spot this buck kind of right about first light. I mean, it was first light because the sun hadn't come up yet. So So as I'm getting behind the scope, I'm a little confused, and I don't explain this in the video. I can't hardly see through my scope because the sun has just crested the hillside, which is directly behind this buck. So I'm getting a lot of lens flare. And so by the time I'm like on him and I know right where I'm at, all I see is just the tips of his antlers as he's starting to head down the hill. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm useless looking this way. So what I do, I walk the road and check for him, but then I turn around and I turn around and sit with my back towards the sun looking at this big clearing, hoping that I'll be able to see something. Hey, it was an opportunity at a nice buck in Washington, which, opportunities are all I can really ask for. It's on me to capitalize. I was a little curious if I spooked him or not. I was like, did I jump him? Looking back at the footage, I was like, he definitely knew I was there. I was like, meh-ing at him and stuff, but he didn't like get up like spooked. He kind of was just like, all right, I'm gonna start feeding around like first light. So now we're cutting to what we're about to see, which is I start working my way back across the sun because there's a lot of little ravines. So I'm checking the ravines as I go. And I actually got to this ravine where I was going to check it and then look back in the other way. I just want to check this little thing real quick. And sure enough, just how I saw this buck the first time, where I was like, there's no way that's a buck's like face looking at me. That was the very first footage you see of him. I was like, there's no way. And then I was like, oh, sure enough it is. Same thing, but now instead of, however far that was, he's like 100 yards away. I'm looking, there's like these trees and the hillside behind it, and just through a hole in the trees, I'm able to see him like just looking at me. It cracked me up, and I'm like, oh shoot, I have to go back and get my stuff. And then by the time we're getting to about, what you're seeing, I've like got him in the camera, and then I'm trying to get like, okay, can I even shoot at him with the rifle? No. Okay, I've got to move the camera. Oh, now he's moved. Okay, so I have to move the camera again. Now I'm getting set up with the rifle. Now he's moved out of the camera frame. Like, I can see him in the rifle sometimes, and I have a decent shot, but I don't want to shoot at him unless I can get the footage of it. Not for the YouTube channel. That's not what this is about. When I'm out there by myself, I like to know that I hit an animal, because if you'll see later on, but if I look for an animal and I don't find anything at all within like 30 minutes or so, I would assume that, okay, well, maybe I didn't hit him. By using the camera, it's a tool that helps me know that I hit them, so I know that I need to keep looking. That is why I like to always have them in frame on the camera when I shoot. That's like a big thing that I always like to have nowadays, because I'm taking the camera with me anyway. So, yeah, all right, we'll get back to it. Alright. I just reviewed the footage. It looked like a really good hit. And he ran down the hill. So I'm gonna mentally, so for you guys, a big thing for hunting is like, if you hit something and you're gonna go look for it, don't just like, oh, I'm just gonna walk over there. You're not gonna find it. You're gonna be looking all over the hillside. Pick like a landmark that's like really close. And you're like, okay, it's within like 20 feet of this side of the tree. And like walk that out. But I don't know why I'm giving a lesson right now. I just fucking hit a decent buck in Washington. And I'm freaking pumped, dude. I'm stoked. I hit him good. He was running down the hill, but there's a road down below. So should be an easy pack out. Either way, I'm stoked, dude. Let's freaking go. I just need to go find him now. Let's go, baby. Alright, let me tell you guys what. Focus. Maybe we'll get there. Dude. So, while I'm just giving him some time, I come around the corner on the four-wheeler. And I just stop because I'm like, I'm gonna glass right here. I shit you not, I'm like looking, I swear I saw something like through some branches. Pull up the binos, and it's just like a buck, like, and he's like 140 yards from me because I range him real quick. And the next thing I know, I'm like, okay, like, I keep moving with the camera, so I'm like, camera binos, till like I'd find him, I get the camera on him, I go back, get my rifle, he's moved. And I repeated that process like 3 fucking times until he started feeding his way down the hill, and I'm like, okay, I'm pretty sure he's gonna end up like right next to this tree. So I just throw the camera out a little bit wider angle, and oh dude, like hunting is hard. Like it is a like sport. But that, like adding the camera into the mix makes it so much like more difficult because you're trying to like guess where they're gonna be, and then take a like set up the camera in time before they get there, and then get set up with the rifle in time before they get there. And especially when I'm out here by myself, I won't take the shot unless I've got the camera lined up on it, because I like to know if I hit him or not before I sit here for like an hour and wait and rest and stuff. And that way, like, you know, checking for blood and everything. I mean, you do your due diligence either way, but yeah, that was damn. And I just watched the footage. I got him good, like right, a little high maybe. I'm gonna take the camera, my pack, the tripod, and the rifle, and hopefully it's not so fucking treacherous that I don't break a leg. We'll see. Okay, so I looked around. It just goes to show I'm like kind of shitty at looking, but I am shitty at looking, because I walked down that hill looking for him, couldn't find any blood, any sign, and I'm like, I need to go make sure that I hit him, or I'm like thinking I like stood where I hit him first, and sure enough, I get back up here where I set my tripod and shit down, and I've got white hair, and if this damn thing will focus, I got white hair with blood. But I'm wondering, like, did I hit him in the belly or something? Because I'm seeing a lot of white hair and I'm not seeing anything else. But it looked like I hit him good. He's just, I don't see any blood. But I don't know, I'll move my shit. Maybe there's blood underneath it. Hopefully. Okay. So, we've got blood, and a decent amount of it, going down this trail. I'm not gonna lie, guys, like, this is the first blood I've seen, and it looks really good. That tree up there is where I hit him. And it's probably 100 yards from here. And so that being 100 yards, I legit, this is the first blood I've seen. And I was getting nervous because up there I was like, man, there's no blood. Like where I hit him, just hair. It's like I hit him good. I can even see it on the leads through here. Like he's messed up. And honestly, I was bombing straight down the hill. I only cut over this way because when I circled back up to make sure where I hit was right, I came across some tracks, but they looked like pretty big, so I wasn't sure if it was him. When I was coming down the hill, I saw like this little patch here, and it's like super muddy, right? So if you can't find blood, find a muddy patch, right? So it rained yesterday, so obviously any tracks I see have happened since last night. And so I saw some fresh, like one set of fresh tracks. So I'm like, I'm gonna follow those. I followed them 10 yards, found all this blood. So it's like, if you're getting into hunting, go ahead, like go out with somebody. Anytime somebody that you know hunts, kills something, be like, hey, I'd love to go out with you. Like, or text me. Oh, I can smell him. I think he's close. Anyways, hey, I'd love to go out with you. Like, I'd love to help you pack your animal out, because packing out an animal is a great experience, like an elk or a deer. And be like, hey, if you hit something, like text me if you know where they're at and you have your own way to get out to them. One, they'd appreciate the help, but also you get some experience as like a tracker. And the more tracker experience you get, like you can learn some of it, but like, you know, in a class setting, but really like getting out and doing it is the fastest way to learn it. So let me show you what I'm looking at here. So the first stuff I saw was this right here. In the dirt, it's soaked. So based off of what I'm seeing track wise, like this track here, he went from running down the hill to when he got here, he started just walking. So he's feeling hurt. And then you can also see blood on the leaf right there. So he's definitely like bleeding good. So I'm just gonna hang out right here for a sec and see if he will just, you know, succumb, and then I don't have to worry about him so much. He wiped the blood across that, so he's bleeding like really good. I just need to give him a little bit more time. You really don't want to push him if you don't have to, like, because if you push them and they run again, then you kind of start the process all over again. But I think he's right down in here somewhere, so. So I'm tracking him. I finally find that blood due to me using the camera. I knew I needed to keep looking. I didn't find blood for like 100 yards, guys. Like, I track him for the entire day. I basically shot him just after first light, and I don't take a lunch break, a water break. There's a lot of times where I mentally gave up on finding him, but physically I just kept walking. So at one point I do bump him, and I bump him with like 2 or 3 other deer. And the thing is I'm finding good blood, but then I would find just tracks for like 40 yards. So I would be following just deer tracks because I knew it had just rained. So I'm like, okay, I'd be going off of tracks for a little while, and then I'd pick up blood again and then go again. Now that all these other deer ran off in the same direction as him, I was like, man. So at that point, I still had a bunch of gear on me, and I was like, this is going to be a long game. So I go up to the four-wheeler, sort out all my gear, like kind of mentally prepared myself. And I go down there, and I follow every single set of tracks until I find blood again. And I'm not joking. It was like 50 yards away, I find a speck of blood on a leaf. Now I get going after him, now that I'm back on the trail, and the blood starts picking up again like nothing. But he's switchbacking a lot. So he's switchbacking downhill. He looks like he's trying to go uphill. But I'm following blood, and you know, it's like 3 in the afternoon, and I've mentally given up multiple times. I've lost the trail for 30, 40 minute periods at a time. And you know, something in me You know, I mean, just decided that I was going to refuse to fail. Like, as long as there was blood, I was going to be out here in the woods looking for him. I track him all day. He switchbacks a whole bunch. He Jesus fished me a couple times, and I kind of explained that, but he basically comes into a little clearing and then goes right back out the way he came in and goes a different direction. So he's like confusing me with the blood. And I hit like these old growth areas where there's no underbrush, so I'm like finding a pine needle with a speck of blood on it. And you know, I've got school, it's like midterms and stuff, and I'm like, man, I really didn't have enough time for this. But I was like, you know, out of respect to the buck, but respect to the game, I was like, as long as there's a blood trail, I'm gonna be following this. I keep following it. I actually lose the blood trail and find those moose paddles, and on the moose paddles is a speck of his blood, and that's how I pick up the trail again at one point. Now, when it starts to get so dark, I was like, I need to get out of. I do need to leave because it's lumber company land. You know, the gate guard's going to be curious about me. My parents, my girlfriend, everybody's going to be wondering where I'm at. So I do need to get out of here and charge my phone. If my phone was charged, I probably would have stayed pretty late. But I did need to get out of there only because a search and rescue party would have been a real awkward conversation on why I was still in the woods. So I do leave with the intention of coming back first thing in the morning. And that's exactly what I will do, is come back first thing in the morning. Alright guys, as you can see, the sun is setting behind me. I tracked that guy. First, I tracked him for about 800 yards at first, like when I first found that blood. And then I bumped him. So I was like, okay, like there's no way, like he needs like more time to bleed out or something. Like, I'm gonna go back up to the four-wheeler and figure it out and wait a while and then come back. And then I probably tracked him for 2 miles before I ran out of light. And he just side-hilled, like walking sideways down the hill, and then switched back across this knoll down below me where there's like a open timber. Maybe if I would have sat up here, I would have actually just seen him walking through. And then he gets down a little lower and he does like a Jesus fish. So he comes in here, does like a big circle, drops a lot of blood everywhere, and then goes out here. And that took me probably 40 minutes to figure out, because I'm like trying every different little trail. And I was like, what the heck? He had to have done a circle and like gone out, like similar to the way he came. Mind you, multiple 20-foot long just swaths of blood. I probably saw more blood than I would ever imagine is actually in a deer. And like, he's just moving the whole time. He never stopped. There was never more than like a tiny puddle of like 4 drops. Unless like he had those big swaths, and I have no idea where those, like, I was like, dude, let's keep it going. And I stopped at a good spot. I'm gonna try and pick up the trail tomorrow. It rains later in the week, so I might be screwed, but consolation prize, I found some moose paddles. So I decide I'm gonna refuse to fail at this. I am only going to fail based off of no blood, like for as long as I can track. I basically decided I'm gonna spend all the time in the world trying to find this guy. He's bleeding enough, I've followed him enough, he should eventually die. I can't tell you how many times I said, you know, I thought I hit him good, how many times I said, like, how much can a deer even bleed? And it really became a mental me versus him.
That's been a whole year of just sitting out through the winter snow and the whole freaking summer.
Yeah.
Wow.
I just want this one. It's cool. And it's cool that, you know, there's a matching set out there somewhere. So, right?
That is so cool. Wow.
Yeah, Yeah, these things are sick. I just really am like gonna lose my mind about that buck. But
okay, so I have faith that you will get it. I really do.
I'm gonna have to be a little naughty, and I'm gonna have to take that little road.
But you can just go ahead.
And
yeah, and just let. And if your boys are up there working, just tell them. So they're really, really good about passing. If it's an absolute, like, I know I got it, and it's down, and it's there, and they'll just be like, just go. Okay. It's fine. They're really good guys.
Okay.
I love them.
So it's the next day. I don't know the exact numbers, but I think it's something like 1,800 feet of elevation just going uphill, like gain, and 3.5 miles of tracking. And I finally found him dead.
Deer down.
Down in the bottom, like right, maybe 100 yards from where I parked my four-wheeler when I started heading up this hill. You know, I thought my shot was steady, but I was obviously wrong. I pulled hard right on him. That's why he went so far. But hey, we got him. We got him, baby. He's down. Dude. Fuck. Oh my god, dude. I found him. And there's a grader operator here, like, eating his breakfast, and I'm like, hey. He's like, oh yeah, just, you know, just park off to the side, like, you're totally fine. I walk like 200 yards up the hill, find blood, track him to the road. And at the road, I'm like, I'm screwed, dude. Like, I'm never gonna find him. I walked the road for like 40 minutes to an hour. Just like, dude, I'm so fucked. Like, there's no tracks. It's all hard packed. And then I'm just like, you know, whatever, keep walking it. Like, I got all day. And sure enough, I find like one speck of blood. And he actually walked along the road in the bushes, bled, and then went off another 20 yards. And then it's just bed spot to bed spot of blood. I'm just like, okay. And then I finally get to one where there's like a fat clot, and I'm like, okay. And I totally lost it from there. And I was like, you know what, like, if he's dead, he's in here. So I just start switchbacking all the way down, and I see him, like, just laying there dead, and I was like, yes, motherfucker, worth it. Holy fuck. I can't believe I actually found him. Dude, and there were a couple times where he got into like the old growth, like, yeah, like what it was down there. There were a couple spots up top that he got and shit like that, and I was just like, I'm gonna have to guess. Like, and I would just guess and walk down a trail a little ways and then come back and find another one. Literally, there's like a bunch of loops in my tracker thing, like where I'm like, I would like loop back to something, or like just, sometimes the tracker's a little off because I'm down in these ditches, but just nuts. Alright guys, so a couple lessons I'm taking away from this. One, make that shot count, especially in the brush. Like, I hit him a little back farther than I'd like. That's why he went so far. Two, don't give up. You're not down and out until you're truly down and out. If you keep finding blood, keep finding blood. I mean, there was like more than a few times where I was like, I'm not finding anything. Just keep looking. You're already out there. And, you know, a win is a win. At the end of the day, I did get them. I hate leaving them overnight, but, I mean, you find them when you find them. Going forward, definitely going to spend quite a few more days at the range, which is actually saying a lot because I spent a bunch of time at the range already. But I think the problem was with that shot is I took a kneeling position and I just didn't, I mean, I was actually set. I was pretty steady, you know, like there's inches in every game. So I was pretty steady. I must have been at a weird angle to where when I finally like pulled that trigger, I like pulled my body a little and sent it back a bit. But hey, you know, you live and you learn. That's animal number 2 down for the season. So it's my Idaho elk and my Washington deer. Now next week I got Washington elk and then finally Idaho deer. Man, that'll be the season for me. Man, we're 2 for 2 right now. Let's keep it going. Okay, so that's the wrap, right? I end up getting them. I get them out of there. You know, I mean, I put it in the video, but shout out again to the loggers. It was pretty cool. It was a closed road. There were plenty of signs that said, like, don't be coming back in here, yada, yada, yada. The gate guard lady you see in the film, or in the, you know, in the, whatever, the video, she's like, yeah, you can just go ask them. So I did verify with her before I went and did all that. But they were really cool about letting me go back in there and find them. And so, you know, I get back on the trail, get down on them. I mean, you'll hear me talk about it on the phone with my buddy and stuff, but wrapping up on that, like what, you know, what the case was there. So I don't go over it in the video. What had happened was I actually hit him back. I hit him like just behind the lungs, so pretty back, but in the ribs, and had got him like right through the diaphragm, really. So he was, and I think that's why he was bleeding good. I don't know. I'm not like a deer doctor, but I hit him pretty back from what I was thinking, and based off of the position I was in, I'm thinking the rifle was not tight enough in my shoulder because I had my jacket on and, you know, like all of that. So there was just kind of too much, and it was too much. Instead of being out here, it was like this in this kneeling position instead of being as far squared as I could. So I think it just kind of slipped it back and it pushed the barrel like right a little bit. Which is on me. I should have had a better grip on the rifle. That's not like you know, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, moving forward, I mean, I need to practice my, you know, I shoot a lot prone. Like I shoot prone pretty much every single time. So I think I do need to practice my kneeling and my sitting shooting positions again. I haven't practiced those since the Marine Corps. So I'll be getting on those. Tech-wise, I didn't really have any problems with tech other than my phone dying. I mean, there's always, like, I can always upgrade my tech, but really I think I did a good job with that, with the video footage, stuff like that. Finding him was the really important thing, so, yeah. But yeah, hey, you know, I've got my Idaho buck coming up. I've got a little video of Nate, a video of my dad. Like and subscribe if you want to see those. I'll be posting this one. You'll be watching this on Friday if you watch it the day I post it. And then the other ones will come out next Friday. I'll have those ones ready to go for you guys. So yeah, hopefully, you know, that'll pretty much be a wrap for that. I am doing some coyote hunting and stuff. If I'm successful, I'll post some videos on that. And then spearfishing come the spring. So stick around, subscribe to the channel. I might have something cool that you're interested in watching.